Welcome to Fix It Home Improvement, covering projects that every homeowner should know and great products for home and garden.
Hi, I'm JC, and this is where we share weekly home improvement tips. I'm here with my co-host, Cindy.
Hello, JC.
Hi, Cindy. This week we're going to be talking about automatic pet feeders, and we'd like to thank Sean Wright for liking and sharing the podcast. And Cindy has one more chapter to write in book 16, and we'll let you know when we're going to be publishing on Amazon.
Woohoo.
I read an article on the Pet Historian website about some of the earliest automatic pet feeders. And one of the first patents for an automatic pet feeder was in 1939. It had an alarm clock connected to a bowl with a spring-loaded lid. A style made in the 1940s had a bowl that slid out from under a cover to feed your pet when the alarm clock triggered the mechanism. And you can check out the website. It's thepethistorian.com, and there's some interesting articles about pets.
Cool.
The Association of Pet Obesity Prevention says pet obesity is on the rise. And according to a survey by veterinarians, about 59% of cats and 55% of dogs are overweight or obese. Tufts University of Veterinary Medicine said a lifetime study of Labrador retrievers found dogs that were slim had delayed onset of illnesses and lived on average 2 years longer than overweight dogs. The Association of Pet Obesity Prevention says excess weight in cats and dogs result in less stamina, difficulty breathing, heat intolerance, diabetes, liver disease, osteoarthritis, lowered immune systems, and an increased risk of cancer.
That's sad.
An automatic pet feeder can be used to control the amount of food your pet is eating each day. The American Kennel Club says always having a full bowl of food makes it difficult to control your pet's intake of food and calories. They recommend consulting your vet about your dog's breed, age, and size for the recommended calories or the amount of food your dog should be getting each day to prevent obesity. The Kennel Club recommends asking your vet about your specific dog, but in general, feeding a dog 2 times a day is a good schedule. For puppies that are a toy breed, they recommend 4 to 6 small meals a day, medium breed puppies 3 meals a day, and large breed puppies 3 to 4 meals a day.
Wow. When I was a kid, my grandparents had a poodle called Gigi.
Okay.
I loved that dog. So Grandma would make spaghetti, she would make chicken soup every week for the dog, specifically for the dog.
Special.
So she wouldn't give it the soup, so she would make soup with the chicken and carrots and celery and potatoes in there, and then they would eat just the broth and the spaghetti, my grandparents, which didn't make any sense to me. And she called, so all the good stuff, the chicken and, nutrients.
Right.
She'd give to the dog. She'd call it the junk.
Ah, that's so weird.
So she said she'd take the junk out, and
so so the chicken and the vegetables were the junk?
Right, yeah. And
that's so great.
That's what Gigi got. So she'd get dog food mixed with the junk from the chicken soup, so Gigi ate very well.
Yeah.
So there was times when Grandma and Grandpa would go on vacation, and Gigi would come stay at our house, and Grandma would tell my mom, hey, you have to make chicken soup for the dog, and Mom's like, no, she's not. And so Gigi did not like coming over to our house as much.
Yeah.
But
these humans are not as cool as the other humans.
Yeah. So I don't think that was recommended by the vet.
Right. Cornell University College of Veterinary Medicine says kittens need more food per pound of body weight for growth than adult cats. Kittens under 6 months may require 3 meals a day. For 6 months to maturity, most cats do well with 2 feedings a day, and it should be portioned out to provide adequate calories without gaining extra weight. Companion Animal Clinic recommends pre-measuring the amount of food for your cat and dividing it up in multiple feedings throughout the day to prevent overfeeding and to keep your cat content. They say hungry cats can start begging or engage in destructive behavior when they're seeking food and attention. Since dogs are creatures of habit, a feeding schedule helps them get on a schedule to relieve themselves. Feeders can be set up to feed your dog first thing in the morning so you can take it out before work, and then feed your dog in the evening so it's convenient to take it out again. Another benefit of an automatic feeder is your pet associates feeding time with the feeder and not you getting up and feeding your pet. According to an animal behaviorist with the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, cats learn to wake you up if you feed them first thing in the morning, and that becomes a habit, and they may try to wake you up earlier and earlier to get their meal.
I was talking to my aunt, and my uncle used to feed their cat before he went to work at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Monday through Friday. Cat did not know that he was off on Saturday and Sunday, and she was a big cat, probably like 20 pounds, and she would just come and sit on his chest until he got up.
That's what's cool about a feeder, because they learn to associate the sound of it either filling their bowl or rotating as it's time for food, rather than let's go get the human.
Right.
Another advantage of an automatic feeder is if you're running late in the evening, it will automatically provide food for your pet's normal feeding time. Some of these feeders will have a tray with sections, and the tray rotates, or the feeder can have a bin that you fill with dry food, and it's going to ration out a specific amount of food at each programmed feeding time. When I was looking for a kitten for my boys, I found one in a pet store that I liked. It was a very cute kitten, but it was in this large cage up on the top shelf, and I went back a few times, and it was always in the corner of this cage with all the big cats on the bottom surrounding the water bowl and the food bowl. So when I bought the cat and brought it home and fed it, it devoured all the food we gave it, and it would eat until it vomited. So it must have been used to just fighting for its food, or being scared that, if it didn't gorge, it wouldn't be able to get more food. So between both of my boys feeding the cat and giving it treats, this cat got pretty big. So a few years ago, I did some research, and I picked up a pet-safe 5-meal automatic feeder.
Okay.
I like this model because it was low cost compared to other models I looked at. It's low to the ground, so it can't be tipped over, and the locking lid prevents it from being opened. So, she can smell the food, but she can't get to it. It uses batteries, which is convenient where I have it because there's not an outlet close there. It has a rotating circular feeder with 5 sections. So you fill this every night. You figure out how much food you want your cat to have for the day. You set the timer, and it spins to expose one of the areas at each feeding time. So it's very convenient. And you can use dry food or wet food with this style.
Oh, does Milkshake like it?
She loves it. Man, at the minute you can hear it, so it makes a kind of a grinding sound as it turns. And man, her ears perk up, and she runs to the feeder. Right. So for your cats, you have a Calado Wi-Fi automatic pet feeder. The food container is food-grade plastic. It holds 128 ounces of dry food.
So like a 3-pound bag of food.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The lid locks, and it has a replaceable desiccant pouch under the lid, and that helps prevent moisture damage. It works with dry food up to 3/4 of an inch in diameter, and the food bowl is stainless steel. So you can schedule up to 10 feedings a day with your feeder, and the amount of each serving is also adjustable. You can dispense food with a push of a button or set up a schedule with an app on your phone. And you can get an alert on your phone if the food is low in the bin, which is pretty interesting. And for yours, it's just dry food.
Right. Which my kitten, he's 2 today. His ears perk up when he hears the food being dispensed.
Right.
But my older cat, he doesn't care.
When you're comparing feeders, check if it works with dry, wet, or semi-moist food. Purina says dry food has less than a 20% moisture content. Semi-moist food has a 20 to 65% moisture content. And wet food has a 65% or higher moisture content. Feeders that have a bin work well with dry food, and dry food's going to be less expensive, and it won't spoil like wet food can. If you plan on feeding your pet wet or semi-moist food, there are feeders that can hold 3 to 5 servings, the ones that I saw, and they have an area that holds an ice pack to keep the food fresh.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. When you're comparing models, some have a built-in clock or digital timer, like the one I have. Some work with an app to schedule the number of feedings a day and the amount, and check the number of feedings it can dispense each day for a bin-style feeder and how many portions you can give per feeding, so you can adjust the quantity of the food that's going into the bowl for each feeding. If you're looking at feeders with a bin, check the capacity. If it's a tray style, how many sections does it have? With a bin style, compare the size or diameter of the dry food it will take. Is it corded or does it only use batteries? With a corded feeder, if it has a backup battery, that's great in case of a power outage. And check the reviews to see if it's easy to take apart and clean. With my feeder, for example, the lid lifts up and you just remove this circular tray to clean it. Very easy. Yours has a stainless steel bowl that just lifts out for cleaning, and that bin is pretty easy to remove.
Yeah.
Some bins have food-safe, BPA-free plastic. Some units have sensors that detect a blockage, and the unit will rotate or reverse the feeding mechanism to help release a jam.
Oh, that's nice.
And some feeders will send a notification to your app if there's a jam or if there's low food in the bin. If you have a puppy or a kitten like mine that eats too fast, there are feeders that will slowly release the portion of food out over 15 minutes, and that helps prevent vomiting.
Oh, how do you think Milkshake would do with that?
Wow, would she be impatient? If you have 2 pets, there are feeders that have 2 bowls, so they can both eat at the same time without having to fight over the food. One feeder I saw lets you record a 10-second audio clip. So when the feeder releases the food, your pet hears your voice talking to it. So you can yell, "Come and get it." What's even cooler is there's a pet feeder I saw with a camera and 2-way communication. So you can see your pet on your phone while it's eating, and you can talk to it, and you can hear it if it talks back.
Nice.
Some bins are designed to seal completely when it's filled to prevent pests from getting into the food and to help keep it fresh. If you have a pet with a medical condition and it needs special food or a special diet, some feeders work with an RFID collar, and it's only going to open up for the pet that needs it. That way other pets can't get to that food.
Oh, good.
Some top-rated pet feeders come from Pet Libro. It's P-E-T, capital L-I-B-R-O. Calado, K-A-L-A-D-O. Pet Safe, P-E-T, capital S-A-F-E. W-O Pet, it's the letter W, the letter O, P-E-T. Catmate, C-A-T, capital M-A-T-E. And Pet Kit, P-E-T-K-I-T.
Do you have anything else to add?
When you're comparing models, I would look at reviews to make sure the feeder doesn't tip over easily or it can't be opened easily by your pet. I saw that was a problem with some people with dogs. And I saw a couple models that had chew-resistant power cords. So if that's a problem with your pet, that's important. And also compare the warranties.
Nice. Let's wrap this up.
You can subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review.
You can check out our home improvement videos on our YouTube channel, Fix It Home Improvement.
And you can subscribe to that as well.
You can download our ebooks, Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, books 1 through 15 on Amazon.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a 5-star rating or review.
You can email us at fixitpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow Cindy on Twitter @FixItCohost, and you can follow us on Instagram, Fix It Home Improvement.
Thank you for listening.
Talk to you next week.